Welcome to another teacher talk. This time we have the PE teachers with us, and let's just get right into it. So, what would PE be like in school? And I'm mostly asking this question so that any sixth graders are watching this next year, they'll know this is how it works.
Well, again, it depends on what the district is going to tell us as far as PE is concerned. The way it's looking now is they're probably not going to be dressing out for PE, and it's going to be probably more fitness-based than sports-based. But again, it depends on the restrictions that we have. As far as sharing equipment, things like that, that's how it's going to depend. So I think pretty much there's going to look a lot, it's going to be more fitness related.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Mr. Bolander. We don't know what it's going to look like, but I can tell you that all of the PE teachers will want as much cardio physical activities as possible for the students. If we can move, we will move in the space we're provided as much as possible. So before we would have been running, and I don't, again, know what that's going to look like, but assume that whatever space we have, we'll be doing intensive cardio activities. And obviously we'll be playing sports if that's allowed, but you're going to be moving a lot in PE. That's what I would tell any sixth grader. Be prepared to move a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Miss Benigna?
Ms. Istron and Mr. Bolander did a great job in explaining. Like I said, we don't know what next year PE is going to look like. It's definitely going to be different than online. We're not going to be sitting down and doing a lot of quizzes. We're going to try and get you up and moving, get your fitness back up to grade level as best we can, push-ups and sit-ups. So I know most of your teachers have probably been, encouraging you guys to working out on your own, working on your push-ups, working on your cardio. So we're looking forward to you guys doing that in person.
Yeah, okay, that makes it makes sense because a lot of even for the sixth graders, it's been like a chunk of time that they really haven't done actual PE in school, and like they haven't done like middle school PE yet. So next question, what is your favorite type of sport or exercise that you would also recommend to a student to do? Also, yeah, I can get how some people might not be able to do that, but that does sound very enjoyable.
Yeah, I went skiing a couple weeks ago, and it was a great workout.
I'm probably a bad person to ask about this because I can't stop moving. It's very hard for me to sit at home and teach PE because I am constantly moving. But I would say the first one is running. All of our students in middle school should be running. There's no excuse for not running. You need to start building up by walking, jogging, and then running. Everybody should be doing a mile run. You need to make it work so that you're doing it at least once a week and timing yourself, because that is the best preparation you could give for school. But as far as my favorite sports, I love so many sports, but at school I would say I'm the ultimate Frisbee teacher. I played ultimate Frisbee for the city of LA for a long time, and I just love all sports. So whatever it is, I'm down to play.
Okay, Miss Benigno?
I think we all became PE teachers because we love sports, whether we love watching them and or playing them. I grew up. I was a dancer for about 16 years in Irish dancing, and then other sports too. I ran track in high school and in soccer. So all over the board with me right now in quarantine. I've been walking a lot. I just had a baby in August, so trying to get back into running. I've done half marathons and such. Not there yet at that point, but a lot of walking in quarantine. And I'm encouraging all of my students to walk and, like Mrs. Shrin said, get into that mile run and jog as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay. My next question is how has the pandemic changed your teaching?
Well, clearly, we've had to change our
A
curriculum.
lot.
Mountain biking and skiing. The pandemic is concerned, it's more of an academic approach, which, really is detrimental to the motor skills that we're trying to teach and the skills that we're trying to teach. On the positive side, we can spend a little more time on rules and strategies and things like that, but there's nothing that's better than getting out and actually playing and doing it.
Yeah.
I would say that my students and I have learned the technical approach to a lot of sports. We started off in the fall doing sports we could actually play at school. We did ultimate frisbee, football, soccer, and I'm blanking on the last one, and basketball. But this spring I started off with skateboarding. And we learned all about skateboarding and did physical activities that would help with skateboarding and balance and core work. And then for the last 4 or 5 weeks, like Miss Benigno did, I've been doing the Winter Olympics. And these are things that, I'm expecting students to do activities that are isolating certain muscle groups and doing training things that the athletes who do those sports would be doing. But obviously we're not going to bobsled when we get back to school. So, it's a very different approach. And like Miss Benigno and Mr. Bolander have said, like, we cannot wait to get back in person and actually do cardio and sports activities with our students.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been an adjustment for us. We don't have a PE textbook, so we don't have, curriculum that we go through, like other teachers. So we've had to really adjust our lesson plans into more academic, more quizzes. 7th graders and 8th graders know that we don't really have written quizzes when we're in class.
Yeah.
So that's definitely changed for us as planners and for you guys as PE students.
All right,
Okay.
so now I'm going to be asking you guys some questions. So the first question I have is, did you guys like PE as a student? Like, were you really involved in PE, or was it just something like that you really weren't really fond of?
I loved PE. It was awesome. I love competition. And I love learning new sports. I'm shorter. I never played volleyball. When I got into high school, I love it. So it was really, I was lucky to have all these sports open up to me, and I enjoyed it. It's great.
PE, I think all PE was all of our favorite subjects.
Yeah. For me specifically, I grew up in Texas, and even at a very young age, like I can remember 1st, 2nd grade, I was so competitive and just wanted to be the fastest, wanted to be the strongest, wanted to be the first. And my teachers didn't really look highly upon that because I was a girl, and they didn't think that I could compete against the boys. And I really came into my own, I would say, in high school when I got to captain a few sports, and I was the captain of the soccer team and the cross country team at my high school. But I encourage all students to go for the best that they can do. Do your best. Whoever you're competing against, just do your best and push yourself.
PE was one of my favorite subjects in school. My 2 PE teachers actually inspired me to be a PE teacher. Just the way they ran the class and the sports we did and the way they were as people, that really inspired me. I think that's when I, began to think, I could do this, So, yeah, that was, I think, the turning point for me too. High school PE with my 2 teachers.
All right, so the next question I'm going to ask, is there anything you could change about PE? Like if you want to teach a different sport, or if there was like anything you could change about what you teach?
Wait, can I add something? Also, for when we go back into school, if you were to change something when we go back to school, what would that be?
So, as far as school is concerned, we are restricted by our environment and our equipment. I'd love to teach and I love to teach wrestling. I love to teach equitation. There's a whole bunch of different things that I love to do, but we don't have access to that. And as far as coming back to school, again, as far as changing anything, we're going to be faced with a ton of change that we're going to have to change because, again, of COVID, what restrictions they have on us. Ideally, smaller class sizes.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. If I could change one thing, it'd be the smaller class sizes as well. Like Mr. Bolinder said, we're restricted with the numbers we have, with the equipment we have. It'd be great to, maybe switch up our units, not maybe be so traditional sometimes. I love to start teaching lacrosse, but again, equipment costs money and things like that. So, smaller class sizes, we can do more, and maybe more means to different types of non-traditional sports
Yeah.
for me.
I agree with what Mr. Bolander and Miss Benigno said. I mean, I honestly, I haven't been teaching. I've been teaching a very long time, but this is only my second year teaching PE. And I don't know exactly what I would change as far as our curriculum, but with smaller classes, we'd be able to do more.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, it does. So my next question is, do you teach anything besides PE, like in school or out of school?
No.
I used to teach English. I was also the dean. I taught skiing for 25 years. I taught horseback riding. And that's about it.
No.
I was a math and science teacher for middle school for 13 years. Before, I always wanted to be a PE coach, and I was just waiting for the right opportunity and for there to be a job. But I taught math and science to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I was a leadership teacher. And then I've been coaching ultimate frisbees for the last 14 years, and I've taught a few other things too, but mostly sports instruction.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this week.
Yeah.
Teacher Talk. And
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
you're
See you
welcome.
No
guys
problem.
soon.